Hello and welcome to the Jet Set. We've got an exciting show ahead because this week we're handing over the reins to one of our favorite correspondents, Lisa Niver.
Lisa's taking us on a journey through the breathtaking landscapes of Ireland, diving into the rich history, cherished traditions, and yes, there might even be a jig or two. So fasten your seatbelts because this special episode of the Jet Set is about to take off.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to travel, food, fitness, and everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
When you think of Ireland, there's no better place to start than a magnificent castle that'll have you feeling like royalty.
I love to know more about the places that I stay. So can you tell us more about the history of the castle?
Yes, I'd love to. I work as the castle historian and it has such a great history. It's a 16th century castle. It has a very long history here going right back to the High Kings of Ireland in the 11th century.
So one of the questions people have in the United States is what exactly is a lord and a lady?
Oh, the lord and lady here, they were originally Celtic kings, the O'Briens. They surrendered to King Henry VIII of England and they became lords and ladies at that time.
Oh, thank you so much. Being here makes everyone feel like a modern day lord or lady.
Oh, for sure.
Sláinte.
Dromoland Castle is the ultimate luxury escape. Whether you're teeing off, relaxing at the spa, or exploring the 500-acre estate on a horse and buggy ride, there's something magical around every corner, making Dromoland Castle a true Irish treasure.
Are you wondering what to do at Dromoland Castle? Well, the #1 activity, one of the reasons that people come, is to find out about historic falconry. So today we're going to learn all about historic hawks with Jack and Mac.
Mac here is a Harris hawk. It's a really unique species.
So why do we still train these kind of birds and have them here at the castle?
We can still use those classical training techniques perfected and fine-tuned by people thousands and thousands of years before us to give these raptors a really good life in captivity and to connect with nature in a real practical way that you're not going to get by looking through a phone screen. There you are, left-handed. That's the Western tradition.
Okay. I'm ready to see him fly.
There you go, buddy. Great man. Big fist, bend the elbow. There you go.
In ancient times, birds of prey like hawks and falcons were a powerful status symbol, signifying wealth and nobility. At Dromoland Castle, hawks were even used by the kitchen staff to catch dinner. Let's hope I'm not on the menu tonight. Now I'm off to the Burren, a hidden gem in Ireland known for its vast, rugged landscape and unique, rare flora. It's a place that feels almost otherworldly.
Hi.
Hi, Sadie. So great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Should we go and have a look around?
Yes, please. So are all the plants here the type of plants that you use in your perfumes?
Yes, in the perfumes, like a lot of the native plants like meadowsweet and wild thyme, the plants that grow all over the landscape here are just so beautifully fragrant. And a lot of the herbs in here are the herbs that we would use in our skincare.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. And this plant is so beautiful.
This is the calendula. So this is an amazing plant. It's not only very pretty, but it has so many benefits. So for skincare, any dry or irritated skin, it smooths. You use it in food. So these we use in the salads. So absolutely delicious, spread on salads. Fresh.
Fresh.
Nutty. For me, the importance with all the products we do is that is the quality of the ingredients, right? And that's the key thing. And then that they're put together very simply, no compromise, by hand. And so you end up with very fresh, high quality products.
The Burren Perfumery is passionate about using all natural ingredients, creating their exquisite scents from the wildflowers, herbs, and botanicals that thrive in the Burren.
Should we make some perfume?
Yes, please. This looks so interesting.
Okay. So this is the neroli perfume. Here we have the yuzu. So this is one of the top notes. So here, I'll do the first one.
Yes.
You're going to put that in the pipette like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you're going to drop it in Perfect. So the next note will be the bergamot.
Okay.
There you go. So the bergamot is a little citrus fruit, which is a bit like a cross between an orange and a grapefruit.
Neroli.
So neroli is the heart of the perfume, so you have more neroli than anything else. So in this perfume, actually, there are 35 different ingredients.
35?
35, yeah.
And did you create this formula?
I did, yes. So it took me 4 years. Blend that together. You dip those two in it, and then we'll try it.
This is amazing.
Can you already smell it? So then, you smell it? Can you smell the orangey?
Yes, 4 years. That took you a long time.
It took me a long time. So it's like creating, if you think of a piece of music with all the different notes, it's like creating a harmony from all the disparate notes, which are all the ingredients.
So this one's a full orchestra.
It's a full orchestra, yeah.
I'm headed north to visit the stunning Kylemore Abbey, a beautiful Gothic-style castle nestled in the heart of Connemara, and I'm hoping for a sweet surprise.
Welcome to our chocolate kitchen, Lisa.
Everyone loves chocolate.
They do, don't they? And, well, our favourites have always been, from the very beginning, sheep. And they're called Connemara sheep, yes.
Connemara sheep.
Connemara sheep.
And did this come about because you love chocolate?
It is, they say now, an attraction as well. But it didn't start off like that, no. It started off as a means of earning an income.
Look at all these sheep. It's so amazing.
I'll just show you what we do.
Okay.
Comes out like that.
Wow. So tap them.
Okay.
And... Oh, I didn't get all the flock out. It's harder than it looks. Should we taste one?
Thank you.
Let's cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is really good.
We've got to take a quick break, but we've got lots more of Lisa's trip through Ireland coming up in just 60 seconds. Welcome back to the Jet Set. Today we're tagging along with our Jet Set correspondent Lisa Niver as she immerses herself in the vibrant traditions and stunning sights of Ireland.
Malachi, thank you so much for inviting me to your workshop. It's so beautiful here. Can you tell me how I got started with the bodhran?
In my early 20s, I lived beside Padre Mercier, who was one of the founders of the Chieftains, a very brilliant folk group. Padre developed a very clever, unique playing technique idea where both hands interact directly. One hand tucked behind the skin and the other playing the stick, or kippeen we call it. It means little stick.
So for people that aren't familiar with the instrument, can we show it to them?
Yeah, the bodhran, the sound comes from the skin and the playing technique.
And a lot of the famous Irish bands and dancing troupes use your instrument?
Ah, yeah, because the skin, it's all about the skin. There's a deep haunting sound naturally from goat skin. So, but the playing technique, if you hold a stick like that on 3 fingers, it's freeing here, you know. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, you might see my hand here. I move it instinctively. We know how to breathe, we know how to drum. And the less you think about it, the better. Do you want to try and play?
That would be amazing. Okay, do you think I have hope here?
Tuck your hand in behind that, yeah. Now you have it. So hold the stick on the end of 3 fingers, and then this end you use up and down. Yeah, but you're holding it out. Hold it in like that. Yeah, up and down. Oh yeah, she's getting it all right. Jesus, when you're famous, I'd say I met you. And so you'd have to say. When I was a kid, I used to say, I love the sound of the bodhran. Now I know I meant I love the feeling I get when it's played. The Irish are very drawn to wildness and a little bit of madness. The bodhran, there's a wildness to how it's played. It's very freeing for the spirit.
Next, I'm off to Galway to sit down with Trad on the Prom, Ireland's #1 traditional Irish music performance. I'll get to see the bodhran in action, but honestly, I don't think there'll be much sitting.
Hi, Yvonne. You're one of the world's best bodhran players. Can we get a dance going?
Absolutely. I have 2 world champion dancers with me. They're going to dance. They will interpret what I'm playing. I will interpret what they're dancing. See what happens.
Now it's time for me to try my hand, or feet, at Irish dancing.
Go! Hop, hop. 1, 2, 3. Hop. Yeah, very good. Hop, hop. 1, 2, 3. Right, left, yeah. Woo! Very good. Now we're back.
After a restful night, I made my way to the northernmost point of Ireland, where the breathtaking views and fascinating stories at Giant's Causeway await.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Lisa. Lovely to meet you.
It's so lovely to meet you, Neville. I'm so excited to be here at Giant's Causeway. Can you tell us a little bit more about this place?
Ireland's a very small place. You're as far north, really, as you can get. It's a very special place. It was designated a World Heritage Site on the 26th of May, 1986. Legend has it that it was actually built by a giant, but we'll get into that later. There's lots of stories go with the site. Will we make our way down and we'll tell you a story or two?
I'm so excited.
Come on.
Let's go.
Yeah. As I say, there's lots of stories that go with the site, but I really want to tell you this first story, and it's about a camel. Finn McCool, a giant. He lived at the Causeway with his wife Una and his son Oisin. Finn had a 70-foot giant camel. Believe it or not, Lisa, that camel is here to this day.
The camel's here?
It is. I want you to look across that bay.
Okay.
You see its head? And you can see the hump.
Oh, I see it.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Every pet needs a name. Finn McCool looked at that camel. He says, you have only one hump, you should have 2. So he called his camel Humphrey.
Oh,
Come on.
Humphrey. I love all your stories. It's such an incredible place.
To bring a place like this to life, we need to tell the stories. Stories that have been told through generations. Talking about stories, what about another one? We are now in our last bay. This is Port Noffer, Bay of the Giant. This is where I'm going to tell you my final story. So now let me tell you the story. It's been told all over the world. Finn McCool and the Scottish giant Ben and Donner. Finn McCool lived here at the Causeway. Finn had a rival who lived in Scotland, and his name was Ben and Donner. Now, the two giants had never actually met, but they had shouted across the sea for years. and one day, when things were getting a little bit heated, Finn McCool says, I've had enough, he says. I'm going to build a causeway to Scotland, and I'm going to sort this giant out once and for all. Eventually, he got there. He started to climb up onto the cliffs, and he stopped because he could see the Scottish giant in the distance, twice as big as him. Finn McCool, he might have been Irish, but he wasn't thick. He turned on his heel and he started to run back across the pathway that he had built. As he made his way across, the big giant, he took after him. And as he ran across the sea, he slipped. His boot flew off his foot. It's here to this day. He made his way up into the house. He says, he's coming behind me. He says, and we need to do something, and we need to do it now. Come on, she says, I'll dress you up quickly. Get on the baby's bonnet and get into the crib. He says, Una, are you mad? She says, do as you're told. Get in. The next thing, bang, bang, bang on the door. And he looked at Una McCool and he says, I'm looking for Finn McCool. And Finn started to cry like a baby. That big boy, he says, what's the noise? And he made his way to the curtains and he says, oh, she says, don't go in there. She says, don't hurt me, baby. He says, you're a baby. And he pulled back the curtains. He looked in and he gasped. He couldn't believe what he was looking at. A 54-foot baby. He looked at Una McCool and he says, that's your baby. He thought, jeez, if that's the baby, how big's the father? He came running round, by the boot, and back across the sea to Scotland, smashing up the causeway that Finn McCool had built. And that is the true story.
The ruins of Dunluce Castle in Northern Ireland sit dramatically on the edge of a cliff overlooking the ocean. If this castle looks familiar, it's because it was the backdrop for the Iron Islands in Game of Thrones. So yes, you can absolutely picture yourself ruling the Seven Kingdoms, or at least pretending to.
We've got to take another short break, but don't go anywhere. We've still got lots with Lisa Niver and her exploration of Ireland still to come. Ireland's history stretches back farther than even the Egyptian pyramids, and Lisa is taking us to an extraordinary location where the past truly comes alive.
I'm headed to Royal Portrush, host of the 2025 Irish Open, where you'll find some of the most dramatic views in golf, breathtaking cliffs, and the roar of the Atlantic. After a day on the course, indulge your senses with a visit to the Boatyard Distillery, where you can taste and even label your very own gin. For the ultimate relaxation, head to the Salt House Spa for a traditional seaweed bath. As you soak, you'll feel the rich heritage of Ireland's ancient wellness rituals. From the wild beauty of Northern Ireland to world-class golf, the Irish Open 2025 is your gateway to unforgettable adventures.
Hi, Killian.
Hi,
It's
Lisa.
so great to meet you.
Welcome to Wild Ireland.
Thank
You're very
you
welcome.
so much.
Would you like to come and see some animals?
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
So about the foxes.
Yeah, we have a nice little group of foxes here. A lot of them are formerly pets, believe it or not.
Oh.
People thought it was a good idea to take a little fox cub from the wild and try and keep them as pets. And of course, they do not make good pets. And before we opened up, those animals, in most cases, would have had to be euthanized. But now that we have this beautiful sanctuary for them here in the forest, we can offer these foxes a natural habitat with other foxes outside, and they can rip everything up in there and it doesn't matter. They can just act like wild foxes. Come and meet our two brown bears,
Okay.
Donica and Reenach. This is the species of bear that used to be native to Ireland.
Oh my God,
Unfortunately,
they're so
we no longer
beautiful.
have these guys here. They were hunted to extinction, and then the added habitat lost. They couldn't survive here. We rescued these guys and brought them here to Donegal, where we've been rehabilitating them for the last 5 years. Yeah, it blows my mind to think of these guys roaming the hills of Donegal here where we are now. This is a site our ancestors would have been very familiar with. I always tried to educate people about these animals and the native Irish animals, and then I used to tell them about the wolves. Ireland was once nicknamed Wolfland.
It was?
Yeah, because there were so many wolves here. And I learned about the relationship that the ancient Irish people had with the wolf. They didn't fear them, they respected the wolf. The wolf was known as Mac Tír, which means son of the land in Irish. That is almost like a term of royalty, that land being the king and the wolf being the inheritor or the prince of that land.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
You want to come meet some of the red deer?
Yes, please.
So this is Fia, and Fia's a
Fia.
red deer. This is Daisy.
Hi, Daisy.
Daisy's about 4 or 5 months old now. So she is a little orphaned red deer that we bottle raised here at Wild Ireland. And these two are ambassadors for their species in the wild. So we want to teach people that these are not vermin and they shouldn't be culled. They should be valued as an important part of our ecosystem as well.
And so you saving them, and the feeling here is just, it's so lovely.
Yeah, we've created a wonderful environment for people and animals, and people to come and learn about them and meet them up close and beautiful.
They're
animals.
really beautiful. We've seen so many animals here today that have been extinct in Ireland, and the deer currently are in Ireland, and we really need to protect and conserve them.
Absolutely, yeah. They're a very important part of our ecosystem. There's a big move now to start culling them and controlling the numbers, and if we're not careful, we're going to lose this. And our last large native mammal will follow the way of the lynx, the wolves and the bears. And if we lose these, what have we got left?
Next, I'm off to Newgrange, an ancient monument and one of the oldest man-made structures in the world.
Leandra, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back at Newgrange.
Oh, Lisa, you're very, very welcome. Newgrange is one of 3 very large monuments within the Brunabonia complex, dating to 3200 BC. The mound comprises of 200,000 tons of stone.
This is actually 1,000 years older than the Egyptian pyramids.
Yeah, it's about 1,000 years older than Cheops and about 500 years older than Saqqara, the stepped pyramid. And it's quite unique in that on the shortest days of the year, 19th of December to the 23rd of December, the rising sun will enter the monument and illuminate the chamber inside. It's still happening 5,000 years later.
So tell us a little bit more about this passage tomb.
We have a passage 19 metres long that leads us into a burial chamber. Now we know that 5,000 years ago our Stone Age ancestors cremated their dead and they brought the remains inside. And the monument is famous, among other things, for its artwork. Now this stone here is one of the finest examples of Stone Age art.
What do we imagine the circles represent?
We just honestly believe it is a life, death and rebirth. Because you wouldn't build something to house your dead as large as this if you thought that death was the end. So this site was sacred to the people who built the passage tomb here. It is a real, tangible link with the past.
We've got to take one final break, but we'll be right back with more of the Jet Set. Don't go anywhere.
Lisa has been busy uncovering the wonders of Ireland, and if you know her, you know that adventure and fun are always on the itinerary. Let's see what she's discovered next.
Imagine waking up in an Irish castle where history whispers through every stone. My journey began at Dromoland Castle. I took time to hula hoop on the castle lawn, surrounded by views straight from a fairy tale. In Connemara at Abbeyglin Castle, I took my hula hoop up to the turret overlooking the rugged Irish landscape. At dinner, Brian serenaded the guests, bringing warmth and joy to the castle's grand halls. Up north at Loch Earn Resort, I woke up to misty lake views and hula hoops surrounded by serene beauty, a perfect place to relax and reconnect with nature. Finally, I returned to Dublin for a stay at the historic Shelburne Hotel, celebrating its 200th anniversary. I visited the Constitution Room, where Ireland's Constitution was drafted. From majestic castles to Dublin's most iconic hotel, Ireland's historic stays are as enchanting as they are unforgettable.
Thanks for watching. Don't miss more travel adventures coming up.
And keep up between the shows by following us at facebook.com/thejetsettv.